welcome back to the Her Campus UW YouTube channel. Today we are going to do a UW Q&A about life at UW, academics, and other topics that people might be interested in. And we have a member from each grade, so we have freshmen, sophomore, junior, and seniors answering questions and giving advice and sharing their experiences. And we hope that this is beneficial to incoming freshmen and other students that might be interested in transferring to UW, or people that are just interested. And to start off the introductions, my name is Grace and I'm a freshman, going to be a sophomore next year at UW, and I am planning on applying to the business school next year. And here are the rest of the members.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I am a sophomore here at UW, and I'm getting a double degree in marketing and communications, and I am on the social media team and YouTube team for Her Campus.
Hi everyone, my name is Jody James. I'm currently a junior studying English literature. I'm a writer for Her Campus, and I'm also one of the social media directors.
Hey y'all, my name is Alyssa and I am a senior graduating with a communications major, and I am also the co-director of videography here at Her Campus.
Hello everyone, my name is Safira Fasha. I'm the president here at Her Campus, Washington. I'm a senior studying biology with a minor in chemistry. I'm on the pre-med track and actually graduating this month.
I joined Her Campus first as a contributing writer, and I still write for the writing team because I loved writing and I heard about it through a friend. And I'm so glad that I did, because everyone that's in the club is so warm and welcoming, and even though we're called Her Campus, we accept all genders. Y'all can all come. We're a great group of people.
What made you join Her Campus? I joined Her Campus freshman year and I wanted to write. The idea of writing and a college magazine publication is something that an opportunity that I couldn't pass on, so I applied for it, and I wanted to make as much friends as possible during my freshman year. So yeah.
Another question I get asked all the time is what I love about Her Campus. And honestly, I love the diversity of women that I get to work with. I've met so many women from different cultural backgrounds and from different majors, but what's so cool about it is we all have similar interests. We all love to post pictures on Instagram. We all love to write articles. We all love social media, and it's a very great way to get involved with your campus, but in a more professional way, I would say. I love it, and I feel like every freshman should definitely consider joining Her Campus.
Question is, what have you learned after joining Her Campus? I actually have learned a lot after joining Her Campus. As a writer during my freshman year, I learned a lot of things about writing. Each week my editor always gives me feedback on how to write better, so it really improves my writing. And then sophomore and junior year, I got elected to be a social media director and being a president for Her Campus, Washington. So I learned a lot of leadership skills like communication, public speaking, delegating tasks, and other.
So do you recommend living on or off campus? I think, obviously it depends on your finances, but I would recommend that if you're a freshman and you can, I would say to live in the dorms if possible. I think living on campus just definitely, it'll help you find a community. You'll be able to find friends and find people who are going to be experiencing the same things as you, and I think it'll also help you immerse yourself into the college life. I dormed my freshman year and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and I love that I was able to stay late nights hanging out with friends or studying on campus nearby, and then I'm able to just walk to the dorms and feel safe. But yeah, and then I would say if you're junior above, sophomore and above, I would say you can either live on campus or live off campus nearby, and that's still quite fun.
I recommend living on campus or off campus. I would recommend living on campus at least a year or two, just because of the connections that you made through those years, and it's so close to classes and events on campus, so resources on campus are easily accessible to you.
I lived both on campus and off campus. I commuted like my last year and a half, and then I was studying abroad for like another 4 months. But to have a good college experience, you don't have to live in the dorms like I did for a year and a half. And it was alright. Commuting does take a lot of energy out of you from going back and forth, but like anything, you kind of get used to it. And I like being at my parents' and having my own room while I can. So you just have to make the most out of it, and I don't think that like makes or break your college experience. But if you can for your first year and you had the choice, then I would live in the dorms my first year, but you don't have to have a great college experience.
What is your experience like living on campus? So for my freshman year, I lived in Madrona Hall, which is one of the newer buildings on North Campus, and I would say that I thoroughly enjoyed living there. It was nice. It was definitely an experience that I would recommend everyone to have if you can. One thing that I enjoyed a lot was, I guess, the freedom that I had living at the dorms with my roommate, because I managed my own time. I just had a lot more freedom, and I think it helped me understand like my patterns and like what I need to do and to stay on top of things. I also made a lot of good floor mates, so me and my roommate met a lot of people on our floor, and it was just like a good experience overall, and I recommend it.
Next is what to do if a roommate problem arises. If a roommate problem arises, I would suggest for you to talk to your roommate and maybe find a common ground. And if you couldn't find a common ground, maybe talk to your RA, resident assistant, so that they could help you to maybe resolve the problem. I also suggest for you to create a common expectations or rules at the very beginning of the year, just so that your roommate could know more about you. Stuff like, when do you sleep, when do you plan on cleaning the room, and when do you usually study. I think it will be beneficial for you and your roommate.
A question that I get asked about UW all the time is how big the classes are. I know it can be pretty nerve-wracking as a freshman to consider so many students in one lecture hall, but honestly it's not that bad, and it kind of depends on your major and if it's a prereq or not. So I've taken different prereqs and electives that have between 100 students and 300 students, which seems like a lot, but once you get into the classroom, it's not too bad and you get used to it pretty quickly. In my major, actually, there's only about 40 kids per class, and so that's pretty small, and yeah, it's not that bad.
So once I got into business, my classes were about 50 to 60 people, but before I got into my major, my classes were about 100 to 200 people for gen eds and just prereq classes.
Some tips on choosing your major: just do what you want to do, man. Don't like try to apply or do something because your friends are doing it. Like, I'm a comm major now, but my first year and a half, I didn't know what I was doing, but all my friends were taking like chemistry and STEM classes. So that's what I did, but I completely hated it. So just do what you want to do, disregarding what your parents say, and you'll just be like way better off and happier that way.
The last question is, how do I choose my major? This is actually a really great question because I didn't decide on my major until my junior year. So I would suggest for you to not rush and find a major that you are actually passionate about. And it would be actually useful for you to find out what career or job opportunities that is available for that major after you graduate, as it's important for you to know like what are the things that you wanted to do after graduating 4 years of college. And I also would suggest for you to talk to your advisor. Maybe they could give you some classes recommendation that could help you explore your major. But that is all. Thank you for listening.
So how hard is it getting into your major? So for business, it was quite Okay, so for business, it was quite hard because Foster School of Business is quite competitive. So if you're looking into business, I would say just to make sure that you, really try to maintain good grades for your prereq classes, and then try to work really hard on the WSA. And for the comm major, it's capacity constrained, but I would say that it's not super hard to get into. And yeah, I really enjoy both of those. Also, UW's quite competitive in general, so I think that's just one thing to note. No matter what major you're looking into, there is some competitive aspects to it.
And I would say that as a senior, if you can do anything during your 4 years at UW, if you can, definitely recommend studying abroad. That was like the highlight of my college career. Just because like with any university campus, it really does feel like a bubble, and once you leave it, you just realize how small that bubble really is. So if you have the means for it, I would definitely apply. We also have shorter programs and the UW Study Abroad office, as well as your own departmental major office, have a lot of scholarships that they hand out. But if you don't, it's totally cool. You can definitely travel after college. But yeah, study abroad, 10 out of 10. One of my best moments that I had on campus, I would say, would have to be jumping in Jamiller Fountain after they cleaned it out, which I found out that they don't actually clean it out because the police officer that I was talking to told me that they just like take the water and they put it in like another container basically, and they just wipe off the geese poop from the bottom of the fountain. But when the bio kids went in and tested it, they found like a bunch of other gross bacteria. But I'm alive and well, so I don't know what you can say about that.
Question is, how do you get adjusted at UW? So for me, I would say that I'm still adjusting, kind of. Adjusting from high school to college is, I would say, pretty hard because high school you had like 7 or 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. schedule, and then UW or college in general, you can start your day at like 11 a.m. and then end your day at like 3 p.m. or have a long break and have a later class. So I think that was something getting used to, and also just managing my own time was pretty hard. Like trying to find a balance between academics and social life, since it was my first quarter at UW. I wanted to like make new friends and hang out with my friends, because we were all like on campus, and so that was definitely a struggle. I would just say an advice I would give is just like try out the first first or second week and see what works for you. So this took me like my whole fall quarter because I wasn't like registering that this was like what I was doing wasn't working for me. So I would always be tired, but I would recommend just like maybe like putting it down your phone, like what study schedule you like or study routine, or like when you think you should go to sleep. So I always told myself that I should sleep by 12 a.m. so I could get enough sleep, but that never happened. But just stuff like that I think would help incoming students transitioning to get settled into UW.
I think my number one complaint about the school, although I love UW, it is a pretty crowded major, so it's pretty hard to get into the classes that you want sometimes. So yeah, that's my only complaint really.
Question, are you happy that you chose UW? I would say that I'm really happy I chose UW. I really enjoy the campus. I think it's beautiful, especially on sunny days. The quad is really pretty, Suzzalo, the fountain, and yeah. But aside for campus, I also am happy that I feel like I have a lot of resources here. I have a lot of people that I can reach out to for help if I ever need it, such as my professors and my advisors, who are all really nice and genuine. So yeah, I'm really happy I came to UW, and it's also a plus that it's kind of near home.
What are some hangout spots on campus? So I love going to Starbucks Suzzalo, the Microsoft Cafe, and probably by George. Those three are the most places that I frequented often to just like go hang out with my friends or like meet up with my friends to get like food or like get a Starbucks drink. And so yeah, I would say Suzzallo was the place that I went to most frequently. And I think like the Starbucks is just beautiful, like the decor that they have, and like the vibes are really good, and you can like see a lot of people that you know there. So if you want to be like social and just like talk to a bunch of people, that's definitely the place to go. But I personally really like the Microsoft Cafe. It's kind of all the way on the other side of campus, like from Red Square. If you look towards Suzzallo, you have to keep going, and it's a little bit of a long walk, not long, like a 10-minute walk I would say from Suzzallo. But I really like the Microsoft Cafe because they have really good food, and like they serve Starbucks there as well. And I just think like the vibes there are way different from Suzzallo because it's just like light, and the walls are like windows, and there's just a lot of light coming in. And the Microsoft or the computer science building is new, so there's a lot of like cool features and stuff like that. So I like going there.
For the last question, what's my typical day like at UW? So I usually wake up and then I go to class. I spend about 4 hours-ish in class, and then I'll have a lunch break. And during that time, I'll either eat lunch or hang out with friends. And then sometimes I'll have a class after that, so then I go to class. But then once all my classes are done, I will either go back to my apartment to study or do my own work, or I'll go and study with friends on campus. And we usually will go to either Suzzallo, the Hub, Ode, or even the Eights, and just study with them. Or I like to go out maybe to U Village or on the Ave to go and eat maybe dinner or anything like that and just have fun. And then when I'm not doing that, sometimes I have club meetings, which I'll go to as well. And yeah.
So that was the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and check out our other videos on our channel, and also connect with us on social media, and we hope to see you soon. Bye!